Last night, a massive drone attack from Hezbollah killed 4 Israeli soldiers and wounded some 60 more. Israeli investigation is still underway to figure out how this drone managed to evade detection and make it all the way to this military base. These last couple of weeks here in Israel have been absolutely crazy, with so many attacks happening, all while Israel is trying to celebrate the holidays of Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. Meanwhile, the whole region is holding their breath on Israel's expected retaliation on Iran. All this and more. I'm Josiah Hilton, and this is The Israel Guys. Welcome to The Israel Guys, where we believe that in a world of Jew hatred and anti-Israel propaganda, you should have a direct connection to the land and people of Israel. If you haven't already, go ahead and check out episode 3 of our adventure series that just went live on the channel yesterday. It's all about the famous places in Israel that would be lost if a two-state solution were declared in Israel. Guys, it has been a crazy couple of weeks here in Israel. Just 2 weeks ago, Iran attacked Israel with the largest ballistic missile barrage in world history. History in the making. Miraculously, no one was killed in Israel except for a Palestinian from Gaza. Then came the 2-day Jewish holiday of Rosh Hashanah, during which Hezbollah continued to fire rockets into Israel. Last Monday was the 1-year anniversary of the October 7th massacre, which was, in case you forgot, the beginning of the current war in Gaza. Then came Yom Kippur, this last weekend, the holiest day of the year, where Israel, the entire nation of Israel, fast food and water. Then, yesterday, a massive drone attack from Hezbollah killed 4 Israeli soldiers and wounded some 60 more Israelis. We're going to give you all the details of that attack in just a few minutes. Guys, every single day of these last 2 weeks, is this specifically what I'm talking about, has seen missile barrages from Hezbollah in Lebanon into Israeli territory. At the same time, Israeli troops, IDF troops, are in the ground in southern Lebanon cleaning house of Hezbollah terrorists and capturing weapon depots, much of them like this video right here.
This is what IDF soldiers found in only 2 weeks in southern Lebanon. Let's take a look. You can see behind me hundreds of missiles, IEDs, explosives, and warheads, all stored and ready to use against Israeli civilians. Here we can see precise anti-tank missiles. IDF soldiers have found hundreds of these in the last 2 weeks only. This is a rocket launcher that our soldiers found. Many of these were found in civilian homes aimed towards Israel. Here we can see IEDs hidden inside of makeshift rocks that look like the terrain in northern Israel and in southern Lebanon. Along with all of the explosives that we saw are the remote controllers that are able to detonate these explosives from afar.
Now, the defense minister of Israel just announced in a security briefing that only 1/3 of Hezbollah's short and medium range rockets remain in Hezbollah's hands in Lebanon. That means that Israel is winning the war in Lebanon. The Israeli Air Force is also striking terror targets all across Lebanese territory, hitting as far as the capital city of Beirut. Now, here inside of Israel, there have been many attacks, several terror attacks happening just in the last 2 weeks. Last Wednesday, a terrorist went on a stabbing spree in Hadera, wounding 6 people. And then last Sunday, a terrorist shot and killed a female 19-year-old border police officer in the central bus station of Beersheba. Israel is under attack from many different areas, from different directions, and from different areas within the state of Israel as well. All the while, Israel is gearing up for a response to Iran's unprecedented attack on Israel, their retaliation for this massive attack. Some speculate that Israel will hit Iran's oil fields. Others say that they will hit Iran's nuclear sites. Some are even saying that Iran will take out Iranian leadership or conduct a massive cyber attack. We do not know what exactly Israel is planning to do, but we can hope and pray that they will be able to effectively stop Iran from being able to attack Israel. Also, something else I wanted to point out was, while much of the media attention has been turned away from Gaza, the Gaza Strip, the fighting that's going on in Gaza, the war against Hamas because of the war in Lebanon and Israel going in with ground forces into Lebanon, the IDF is still fighting a war in Gaza, and they are still trying to finish off Hamas and root out the terrorists who are embedded in the tunnels of Gaza, and to rescue the 100 hostages still held by Hamas in these tunnels of Gaza. Now, at this point, it would seem crazy for anybody to support Hamas. With such devastation in Gaza, such damage inflicted on Hamas, and the hostages not having been released by Hamas, no one, absolutely no one in the entire world should be supporting Hamas, rooting for Hamas, or calling for the end of IDF operations in Gaza. There's been such devastation. Hamas has sustained such damage to their organization, with their leadership taken out, and so many of their terrorists killed and their weapons exhausted. The hostages still have not been released. So anybody supporting Hamas is either evil or stupid. Hamas's mission in Gaza is still the same, even though they're weakened and it seems like they're almost crushed. Their mission is still the same, and they're proclaiming that loud and clear every single minute that these hostages are not released back into Israeli hands. Their mission, in case anybody forgot, is to kill and torture as many Jews as possible, and hopefully, according to them, eventually annihilate the state of Israel. In times of war, it can be shocking to realize that life's other challenges don't pause. While an entire nation faces conflict and uncertainty, families like the Cohens are grappled with their own battles. Aaron and Gal Cohen live near the Gaza border with their 3 children. On October 2023, just days before Hamas launched its brutal attack on their community, they received life-changing news. Their 4-year-old daughter, Tenny, was diagnosed with kidney cancer. As rockets fell and their neighbors sought shelter, the Cohens rushed to the hospital for Tenny's emergency surgery. Since then, their lives had been a delicate balance: cancer treatments, temporary evacuations, striving for some sense of normalcy for their other children, including a newborn. This family is fighting 2 wars, one for their safety and one for their daughter's life. And while they hold on to hope in Tenny's recovery, the practical challenges of medical bills, loss of income, and constant upheaval have placed them in a position no family should ever face, especially not in the middle of a war. The Bible teaches us to help those in need. Deuteronomy 15:11 reminds us, "Be open-handed toward your fellow Israelites who are poor and needy in your land." Today, the Cohens need your help. Your support can make all the difference. By donating, you're giving this family the chance to focus on what truly matters: Tenny's recovery and their family's future. Every contribution, no matter how small, can bring relief and hope to the Cohen family during this unimaginable time. Help the Cohen family through this challenging time. Click the link down in the description below. Sunday evening, a Hezbollah suicide drone managed to evade Israeli detection, likely because Hezbollah fired a rocket barrage at the same time as they launched this drone across the border with Lebanon. The drone crashed into an IDF Golani training base near Binyamina, and the massive explosion killed 4 IDF soldiers and wounded dozens of other soldiers in the base. At this point, at least 7 soldiers are in serious condition, and many more were more moderately injured, and dozens more were even more moderately injured than that from this attack, probably shrapnel and things like that. But it appears that Hezbollah launched 2 drones at the same time in Israel, one of which Israel spotted and took out shot down over the ocean. The other one found its target in the IDF training base, the Golani IDF training base near Binyamina. And obviously they were targeting this military base and trying to take out these soldiers here. And unfortunately, this drone, Israel's been shooting down drones every single day of the war since Lebanon attacked Israel on October 8th of last year. Israel has been shooting down drones every day, and this one managed to evade Israeli detection and cause a lot of damage in this military base in Israel's north. The IDF Chief of Staff, Lieutenant General Herzi Halevi, arrived at the base last night, Sunday evening, and conducted an initial inquiry on the incident. He spoke with the soldiers of the base, and I wanted to read you guys his words here. He said, quote, "We are at war, and an attack on a training base on the home front is difficult, and the results are painful. You operated well to treat and evacuate the wounded and injured, embrace the bereaved families, accompany the wounded, and strengthen the commanders and soldiers. We continue to operate and train for what is ahead. The Golani Brigade recorded many achievements in the war and dealt resolutely with difficult situations. Continue on this path of this legacy." End quote. That was the Israel's chief of staff, the IDF's chief of staff, encouraging the soldiers on the base and trying to comfort them with so many of their friends and comrades being wounded and several of them being killed. Guys, please continue to pray for these injured soldiers who are injured in this attack. Pray for the complete recovery, and also pray for the comfort for the families of the 4 soldiers who were killed and fell in this attack. On a positive note, from this attack, a miracle actually happened for one of the soldiers that was wounded in this attack. One religious soldier, he was wounded in the attack, and he was miraculously saved from could have been death or serious injury, could have been a serious head injury. So when the soldier was taken to the hospital to be treated, I think, for other wounds, he noticed something on his kippah, the kippah that religious Jewish men wear on their heads. He pulled it off, and he looked closely and found a piece of shrapnel. This shrapnel embedded into the knitted kippah that was on his head. Now, this piece of shrapnel could have killed him or seriously injured him, depending on where it hit in his head. But regardless, it would have been a serious injury for him. But he was miraculously saved by his kippah. The doctor said that the piece of shrapnel did not even scratch his head. Thank God for this miracle that saved this guy's life. Guys, even in the midst of so much heartache and so many attacks on Israel, and things that sometimes don't even make sense, God provides these little miracles for us to, for him. I think it's for him to remind us that he's still in charge and he has everything under control. We can continue to thank him for these miraculous deliverances for these soldiers. Guys, please continue to pray for the nation of Israel. With all this happening in Israel, gearing up for a response to Iran, we don't know what that could happen or what that could entail. But we do hope and pray that will give Israel the victory over her enemies. Guys, pray for Israel's soldiers that they would have victory over her enemies and protect the state of Israel. Make sure to subscribe and let me know what you think down in the comments below. As always, stop listening to the lies and propaganda and connect with the truth of what is happening here in Israel. We'll be back soon here at the Israel Guys.